Welcome to the Slice Podcast, episode 12. Wow, we are at 12 episodes of this thing, and what you just saw is an intro I had commissioned done by a friend I had met online through another friend that I knew from a while back, so I'll put the links to credits below and make sure you follow all of her stuff and, ask for more commissions from her because that looks really nice, and I think that's going to give the show a lot of more pizzazz. A lot more pizzazz than I already bring it. Ooh. I had the fan on. Didn't want any more noise in the background, but it keeps the place cool, I guess. All right. What's been going on with me? Well, in my past movie reviews and I don't think I had a setup for the last episode of the podcast, which I haven't done since January, the 4th of January. I remember that for some reason. I have my movie poster set up. If you can see, here's Joker, Avengers Infinity War, Venom, Guardians of the Galaxy, Days of Future Past, Back to the Future, my favorite movie of all time. In the corner you have Thor, and then you have Star Wars, my second favorite movie of all time. And these are new posters right here. You got Super Mario Galaxy right here. You got, you can't really see it, but that's Super Mario Sunshine. This is Super Mario 64, and that's a poster for Bowser's Fury for Super Mario 3D World on the Switch, which I really enjoyed. I got it the day it came out. I pre-ordered it the day before, and I played it almost every day since then until I completed until like 100% completed the regular game mode, until it gives you the special world at the end of the game where you get Rosalina after playing the second mission in that world, and I had a lot of fun with it. I'll go back eventually and finish it, but for the time being I had a blast with it. I thought it was a great game. And Bowser's Fury is pretty fun so far. It's a mix of Odyssey and 3D World's controls, and it's really fun. It's just you team up with Bowser Jr. to stop Bowser from being a dickhead and ruin everything. It's pretty funny, and I'm having a blast with it. It's really good. But what else? In terms of games that I've been playing recently, not so much. Because I've been busy with work a lot lately. So not that I don't have time for games, but I just don't feel motivated to play it when I come home and all I want to do is sleep. But look at all the games I have right now. That's a lot. I haven't added anything new to the collection since, but there are a couple things I want to pick up. There's a Ruby game. I don't know if any of you know Ruby. It's an anime made by Rooster Teeth, the guys that did Red vs. Blue. Don't know if any of you guys know that either, but it's a funny Halo machinima that I think has been going on for probably a little too long. Could have ended a long time ago, but they keep making them because I guess people keep watching them. But if people enjoy it, then that's whatever, So I got into one of their shows called Ruby, which is on its 8th volume right now, and I'm currently watching it. I think it is complete as of 3 days ago, because the people who have Rooster Teeth First or whatever it's called can watch all the shows a week earlier, and I think that's the last episode that is aired. But I have about, I think, 2 more episodes to watch, and then I'm complete with it. But I like it so far. That's a review I'll be having out soon. What else am I? Oh yeah, so it's a Ruby game that was made, I want to say, some years back. Probably 5 years ago. Yeah, I think it was a good 5-6 years ago that the game was made. And on the Switch, there's going to be a definitive edition that has all the DLC in it. And it's a game that I really wanted to play on the Xbox, but since I just never got around to buying it, I'll get it for the Switch because it looks fun. It looks like an old beat 'em up style kind of game, and I'll say I'm excited for it. I'll definitely pick it up, and I guess that's really all it for games I've been, playing. aside from the usual Animal Crossing every now and then. And because I got 3D World, I got the posters. No, actually, no. I got the poster for this one right here, Bowser's Fury. I got that for pre-ordering it from GameStop, 3D World. I got these 3 posters because I had enough silver points for my Nintendo, and I was able to buy I was able to get them with just like a shipping fee. And I like them. I like having my posters up there. I rearranged my room a little. It's the office for where I live with my family, and I like it. I really do like what I did to the room. I moved the bed around. Behind me is the desk, but you can't see it. And I put up old sheets for the windows so no lights come in. The only lights that really bother me are those lights up there for the just for the room where the fan is. But I can deal with it. It's not that big of an issue. It's just all right here that really just bothers me. But who's going to be looking at that when you're going to be looking at my gorgeous, beautiful hair? But anyways, aside from that, let's see, what else was I going to talk about? I didn't make a list. You see, I usually come into this thing with a list and I go on and on for about an hour and a half. But I don't have a list today. Today I'm just freestyling it, seeing what I can spit out. Oh, I would say this. I think this is a video I plan on doing at some point in the future. I just haven't gotten around to actually planning anything for it. But I want to talk about Midsummer, especially the director's cut, because Midsummer is... Oh, damn, there's a scratch on it. Damn it. Well, anyways, Midsummer, I have grown to appreciate a lot more over the years and after more viewings of it. And I would say that Midsummer is easily top 10 favorite films for me. I absolutely adore almost everything about this film, Midsummer. It is directed by Ari Aster. It is his second feature film. And I think it's beautiful in almost every way. The score is beautiful. It looks fantastic. The cinematography is off the charts. The costume design for all the people living at Harga is beautiful. The acting is great. It's a fantastic film. I really can't recommend it a lot more than I already am. And so I decided I wanted to watch the nearly 3-hour version of the film because it is, I think, 2 hours and 20 minutes, maybe 2 hours and 18 minutes, closer to it's closer to 2.5 hours. So I decided, hey, let's watch the director's cut because it adds an additional 30 minutes to the film, and I want to see more of what Ari Aster has to provide. And it's weird because it's an A24 film. They don't really seem like the kind of people to go, hey, that movie, I'm gonna slash it and you can't make the movie you want to make. But I did think it's a little long. It definitely feels a lot longer than Hereditary, which is already in itself a slow-paced film. But I don't have an issue with slow-paced films. And the beautiful thing about this, the director's cut, which I paid $50 for, it comes in this sleek, nice yellow covering for the film. And the film actually comes in this nice, sleek book sort of deal. Midsummer's director's cut. On the back, it has the bear that's on fire. And in it, this is Danny in the film. And the DVD, the Blu-ray DVD, is shaped to be matching with the rest of the flower dress in the film. And in this, it has an art book with some art I really can't show because it is a lot of nudity. But it fits with the theme of what the film was going for. But there's a lot of beautiful art in here that's presented in the film in certain places, like where all the people live in the youth house. And in the beginning of this film, let me see. There is a foreword by Martin Scorsese, one of my personal favorite directors, one of the best directors working right now. And he just talks about how much care and attention was put into a film like this in, cinema. And there's Martin Scorsese's deal with cinema and what is real cinema. And whatever thoughts I have on that, I really don't care because Midsommar is a fantastic film. It's beautiful. And it's something that I want to get around to watching soon. I got it just so I can have it because this is one of my favorite films. I'll put it easily top 10 favorite films just because of how much I adore in it. But besides that, what have I been watching aside from, what I have and I don't watch? This is going to be a little movie review section. I'll probably make this into another video just so people who don't watch the podcast and just watch my movie reviews can just watch the movie review. So, movies I've seen recently. There is Money Talks with Martin Sheen. No, with Charlie Sheen and Steve Martin. It's about a reporter, Charlie Sheen, who makes a bust on this car wash guy who sells tickets illegally, Martin Lawrence. But there's a prison break while prisoners are being transferred, and people think he's responsible for it. So the reporter has to try and tell the true story of what's going on. And it's funny, it's a cool comedy, and there's a lot of action in it. There's a lot of action. And it's definitely very enjoyable. I think it's on Netflix. If you want to give it a shot, it's hysterical, and Charlie Sheen's amazing. I love Charlie Sheen. I love in almost everything I've seen of it. The Major League films, 2.5 Men. I've never seen Platoon, but I've always wanted to. Charlie Sheen, he's just fantastic. I love the guy. And Martin Lawrence, pretty funny guy. There's another Martin Lawrence film. I've actually, a couple other Martin Lawrence films I've seen that I'll talk about in this thing. But let me just actually look it up and make sure it is Martin Lawrence. Money Talks film. Gotta make sure it's the right one. Jesus Christ, no, it's Chris Tucker. How could I forget? Martin Lawrence is the other guy in the other movies. I mixed them up. Chris Tucker. The guy in the Rush Hour films. I can't believe I forgot that. That wasn't Martin Lawrence. Martin Lawrence is a totally different actor. Chris Tucker. Chris Tucker's fantastic in the movie. There's a scene where he tries to take on a different persona because they go to a more luxurious house for like a pre-wedding celebration because Charlie Sheen's getting married in the film. And Martin Lawrence Chris Tucker takes on this persona of a more up-class figure that is an actual music artist. And it's freaking hysterical, the persona he takes on. But, I don't think I'll give this movie, I'll give it a B. It's funny, it has a lot of cool action in it. A lot of stuff could be developed more, but it's an older film that's really not meant to be art, really not meant to be a film that someone critiques and judges based on the shots and the deeper meanings and of everything else in the film. No, it's just a very enjoyable film. I'll give it a B. The other film with Martin Lawrence in it that I want to talk about. Now, before I make a fool of myself again, let's actually make sure that it's actually Martin Lawrence. This is a film with Tim Robbins. Nothing to Lose, yes. Nothing to Lose. This was another funny film. Tim Robbins plays this guy. I don't remember the characters' names. I really don't. But Tim Robbins plays this guy who works at a business, and there's his boss, and he loves his wife very much, and he comes home to find out that his wife is actually cheating on him with his boss because he finds his cufflinks, and then he finds his wife in bed with the boss, and so he decides to just drive away and see where the wind takes him, only to find out that Martin Lawrence is trying to carjack him, and they drive from California to Arizona, and they're just there, and they try to find a way back, and they figure out, hey, let's rob my boss to show him, stick it to him, all the while they're being chased by Gus Fring and some other guy. But really funny movie. It has a lot of nice heartfelt moments. You really feel for the characters. And there's a lot of cool twists in there that I didn't expect. but were hysterical. And this was a very funny film. I'd give it a B as well. It's really funny. I'll say that. It has cool action moments, funny. The two characters have really good chemistry with each other. Funny film. I think that's on Netflix as well. If not, Prime, rent for $3.99. Oh well. What other movies have I seen? Oh yeah, another Martin Lawrence film, Bad Boys. Now, Bad Boys comes from, and you guys are going to probably hate me for this, one of my favorite directors of all time, because you can't give him shit. Michael Bay. Now, why is Michael Bay one of my favorite directors? It's because the man can do whatever he wants and no one can say anything to him because he's Michael Bay. He will make the money. I don't think he's had a box office bomb. He's made billions because of Transformers. The guy's just a money machine, okay? And he does whatever he wants. He takes shit from nobody. And he will make the same film over and over again, and people will go to see it because they want to see cool action, okay? I adore the Transformers films for the wrong reasons. I love seeing just the Transformers beat the crap out of each other. And I'm not going to lie and say that I like seeing women on screen like that. It's not, I don't think that's what they're just intended for, but I'm not going to lie and say, ew, the way he portrays women in films is disgusting. I don't care. I just want to see Michael Bay do his thing, okay? Michael Bay is awesome. He is the coolest guy on the planet, okay? And Bad Boys is an okay film. It's funny because I was hyping it up because it's one of my favorite heroes. It's one of my personal heroes, Michael Bay, okay? Because the guy does whatever he wants, and no one can tell him otherwise. But Bad Boys is a very underwhelming film, which I heard is a classic. And I think it's just the first half that's kind of boring. It has a very, very slow start. And, Will Smith, you gotta love Will Smith. He's awesome. He's great in the film. But the first half of the film is very slow. And it has a lot of Michael Bay-esque things in it, like the Dutch angles, the canted angles. Everything looks really orange. And there's a scene, the one of the first scenes, I think it's the first scene where you have the two characters in the car, Martin Lawrence and Will Smith. And the different shots cutting back and forth, shot, reverse shot. And the outside of the vehicle looks like they're just filming it on a white screen. I'm thinking, Jesus Christ, who knows? They probably were under a budget, but you couldn't even just green screen some stuff back there, or just take a drive and film while you're out. Jesus Christ, it looked so bad. I was like, oh my god, this movie is gonna be awful. But I didn't have a bad time. I had a good time watching it because the film really picks up in the second half, where you get more of the plot involving we got to save the girl because she knows about the guys that saw all the drugs and what they're going to do with all the money and the drugs. And there's a lot of cool action. Will Smith is running around. He's muscular. And the two, Will Smith and Martin Lawrence, have a great chemistry with each other. They really feel like they're guys that have been working with each other for a long time. It's hysterical. And the film really does pick up in the second half. I was kind of bored in the first half. I thought it was going to be a really bad movie, but it's fun. It's enjoyable. You get what you ask for. I had a good time watching Bad Boys. I'll give Bad Boys a C+. I mean, it is what it is. It is a dumb action film with a very slow and not bad, but very underwhelming first half. And the film really picks up in the second half when it's nothing but balls out action. It's awesome. Other films I've seen, movies I have sat down and watched from beginning to end. Justice League, I watched Man of Steel and Batman v Superman leading up to Zack Snyder's Justice League. So let's talk about Man of Steel first. Man of Steel, directed by Zack Snyder. It's the beginning of the DCEU. And I'm going to be honest, I really like Man of Steel. It is one of my favorite superhero films because of how grounded it feels. Not grounded as in more realistic, which Zack Snyder really wanted to create a much more realistic superhero film. But grounded in the sense that it only worries about being its own contained film and not setting up a future. I love when movies do that, or superhero films do that. And with Zack Snyder's take on this film, I do have a lot of issues with it, even though I really enjoy it, such as the editing and the pacing of the film. I think it's a very slow movie, and the editing is something a lot of people had issues with, such as cutting back to flashbacks and what we show when, like, the beginning of the film is Clark's birth, Kal-El on Krypton. And then you have everyone panicking because the end of the world is coming. And is that Russell Crowe in the movie who plays Jor-El or whatever Clark's dad's name is on Krypton? Man of Steel. Let me look it up real quick. Yeah, Russell Crowe. He did a good job too. I liked Russell Crowe in the film. But so he's his dad on Krypton, and then they find out the world's ending, so they send off him into Earth. Because, like, oh, we found a planet, and let's send off our son. And they do. And then it cuts to Superman saving people on an oil rig. And then he collapses because after he saved everyone, he falls in the water. Then has more flashbacks to his childhood and stuff. And there's a lot of flashbacks in the film explaining certain things like, oh, this is what I feel right now. And, oh, because I'm blacked out, let me think about this from my past. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And especially it doesn't work when we got to deal with a lot of the dialogue with the little kids in the flashbacks. And there's this, what I feel could be a very powerful scene, because Clark's in school as a little kid, and then he's starting to notice all of his powers going on, like seeing people as X-ray visions and hearing tiny things going on because all of his senses are heightening up. And so he escapes to a janitor's closet. And then Clark's mom goes there and she's like, "What's wrong, son?" And the dialogue is just didn't work for me there. She said something about, "Hey, come swim to me," because he feels like he's lost in an ocean or something. She said, "Then come swim to me." I'm like, really? I mean, and it doesn't help too that we hear the same piece of music throughout all these emotional scenes. And I love the music. Hans Zimmer did a great job with the score. But we hear that same emotional piece, the bow wow wow wow, with like its piano, those dun 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 dun. We hear that a lot throughout the film, and it kind of loses its punch after a while. Even though I love it, it's a great piece, especially for what Zack Snyder envisioned for the film. But it does get a little overplayed at times. Now, what do I like? What I love especially about this film, Henry Cavill is a total beefcake. He is ripped. He looks the role. I like him as Superman. I really do. I like him as Clark too. And I really like this more realistic take on it. A lot of people don't like the Man of Steel and Zack Snyder's take on it. I really do. I think it's a great start for a franchise of films. I really want to see Man of Steel too, but we're never going to get that because Warner Brothers is made up of idiots that don't know what they're talking about. And they don't want to continue the Snyderverse because they're idiots. Even though people will go to pay to see the films. I remember it made, I think, $600 million at the box office worldwide when it came out. And those numbers will only keep growing bigger because of how much people want these movies. Batman v Superman made, I want to say, $687 million. No. I think it made $800 million. Batman v Superman. Let me look it up real quick. Because I love looking at box office numbers. BVS box office. $872 million. And that year went up against Captain America Civil War, which grossed $1 billion. Back on Man of Steel. I like all the action of Man of Steel. A lot of people complain that it just devolves into a CGI splash fest of invincible characters fighting each other. But it's cool to watch. I like it. I like all the details it took. But I do think there are a couple scenes where it just gets a little too CG heavy and sometimes doesn't look good when, like, Superman's being flung around by Zod. I like Zod too. Zod's a cool villain. I like that it is an emotional film. I think Kevin Costner did a great job as Superman's dad, Clark Kent. What the hell's his name? Whatever his name is, Clark's dad's name. In the movie and all the Superman stuff, he did a good job. But there is an issue I have with the film as well. Another one, because the whole reason why this film exists is because Jor-El, whatever the hell his name is, goes, I'm gonna send Superman off. Hold on, I need to check the time. I got a couple minutes before I gotta do another take. But he goes, we're gonna send him off and create his own future. He can make his own life because all Kryptonians were born to do a specific thing. So they send Superman off, and then he becomes, he because he's different, he has to travel a lot and do a bunch of pick up a bunch of different jobs. And so then he finds out that he is meant to be, the Superman. He's meant to be a superhero, do cool things and amazing things for humanity. But he doesn't feel like he could because he's different and people won't accept him. But then he ends up having to because Zod comes in, and then he's going to kill everybody because he wants to change Earth into Krypton, basically. And that will kill everybody. So he ends up feeling the need to become Superman, and then people will hate him because look at all the death and destruction that got brought about. So that part of the film, it's something I can understand. Maybe he doesn't want to be Superman. Maybe he just wants to be a person, but he has the need to be Superman. So it's a double-edged sword, basically. It's something that I like and understand, but I also don't like because it's something that he's basically forced to do. And it's not his own free choice to want to be Superman. He has to be Superman, but he could also be bad Superman, which is another topic that will be discussed in future DC projects, hopefully. So in the end, I will give Man of Steel an A-. It's a film that I really enjoy. I really like, and I can probably watch over and over again. I had to make a cut there because the way I'm doing this now is I'm just going to use the camera to record and can only record clips up to 30 minutes. And this will record forever on Audacity. So, after Man of Steel, I watched Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And this is the way I got introduced to the DCEU. I didn't watch Man of Steel first. I watched Batman v Superman first. The day it came out in 2016. I had some friends go, hey, do you want to watch this film with us? We already watched it, but we want to watch it again. And I said, sure. So we went at like 10 o'clock at night to watch it. And after I watched it, I really liked it. I thought it was a damn good movie at first. I was like, wow, it's emotional. It's not boring. It's interesting. It has cool action in it. But then my thoughts on it started to fluctuate over time. Did I like it? Did I not like it? And what's funny is that it was a very hated film by critics. They thought it was boring. They didn't like Zack Snyder's take on Batman and Superman. And it's way too dark of a film. And the pacing, the editing, But I think the film grew in appreciation by people over time. And it really shows because a lot of people really like Zack Snyder's vision. And I like Zack Snyder's vision for this film. I thought Batman v Superman is a very bold movie. It looks great in a lot of instances. And what I like most about the film is Batman and the score. But Batman, played by Ben Affleck, I think Ben Affleck does a great job as Bruce Wayne. He's not that interesting of a Batman, really. I think he's a little better in Justice League. Zack Snyder's Justice League, that is. But he's really cool as Bruce Wayne. I like him. And he looks the part of a damaged, broken man, which we get a lot of by showing and not telling us. But I do think it was weird to show Batman's parents get killed in the beginning, and that weird bat scene where he falls down and gets taken up into the sky by all the bats, even though that's supposed to be a dream. And what's funny is that I watched the Ultimate Edition. So I watched the 3-hour version of Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice. And what's funny about that is it didn't feel all that different from the theatrical cut. Maybe because I haven't seen the theatrical cut since I watched it in theaters that day. But I know what's different in the movie and different from the theatrical cut. But I remember watching it going, this, I don't really have different thoughts on it. Like, I was confused by the story in Batman v Superman, the theatrical cut. like a lot of people, when people go, "Wow, the Ultimate Edition fixes everything." I was just like, because I guess because I like the film initially, I just I seem to just like it just as much, if not just a tad bit more. I thought it's it does add a couple more things, a lot of more slow motion things, especially in the aftermath of the fight with Doomsday, which is another criticism a lot of people had, which was basically spoiled by the trailers for the movie. Good job on that, Warner Brothers. So Lex Luthor is basically pinning against Batman and Superman because he wants man to kill God, because he hates God. He hates the idea of God, essentially, and that's another criticism people had with Batman v Superman was Jesse Eisenberg's portrayal of Lex Luthor, which I like. I like that he's not this giant, big, power-hungry guy who can fight Superman. I like that he's a guy who has all these ideas, even though a lot of his plan is very convenient, and a lot of the things that happen because convenience, and it's a very structured plan, but it's not a stupid plan because Batman did have a chance to kill Superman. Another thing I didn't like about the movie, which I don't think anyone likes at all, is the Martha scene. So Batman beats the shit out of Superman, and he's gonna kill him with the kryptonite spear, and then Superman just like, "Save Martha." Batman's just like, "Why'd you say that name? Why'd you say that name?" And he's like freaking out because he said Martha, and that's his mom's name, and it also happens to be Batman's mom's name. And this is the criticism that people made, like, why didn't he just say "save my mom"? You know? And Zack Snyder tried to defend it by saying, "Oh, because he seems more human to Batman now that he says save Martha. You know, who's this person? Who's this Martha?" But Batman's just freaking out because someone said his mom's name instead of "save my mom," which is something that he would say, which is the reason why they fight him, because Lex Luthor's all like, "Oh, I stole your mom. You kill me, Martha dies. And if you fail to kill Batman and bring me Batman's head, she also dies. Because I don't know where she is, yada yada." Which is a cool way to get the two to pin and fight each other, because Batman doesn't want to listen to Superman, even though Superman barely tries. He could have said, "Hey, they have my mom." Instead, he's like, "Bruce, you have to listen to me," and then he keeps falling for every trap that Batman sets up. And the Batman v Superman fight, as cool as it is to watch, is very short, and doesn't seem as impactful as it could be. So there's this whole meme where if there's two characters that are supposed to fight each other, they will team up at the end to fight the bigger threat, which is what's going to happen with Godzilla versus Kong, because I guess they're going to fight Mecha Godzilla at the end, even though I think it would be more interesting to see Godzilla have to fight King Kong and Mecha Godzilla, which comes out tomorrow on HBO Max, and I'm excited, but let's get out of the talk for that. We'll talk about that later. Back to Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice, the Ultimate Edition. What was I talking about? Yeah, so they team up. They end up teaming up to fight Doomsday, which Lex Luthor created by getting Zod's dead body. And what's funny is that there's this plan he has, because he's like, "Hey, I want Zod's body so I can use kryptonite and yada yada." They're like, "No, you can't have Zod's body." Even though I guess he already had Zod's body because he was able to use kryptonite, a shard that he found, to tear off a piece of his skin. And he also wanted the kryptonite, which he didn't have the chunk. He only had like a shard of it, I guess. And I want to know why kryptonite is on Earth. They never really explain that. Whatever. It's just like another stupid thing that happens in the film. The Batman v Superman fight is short. It's cool to watch, but it's pretty short. Sometimes Batman's beating the shit out of, sometimes Superman's beating the shit out of. And oh yeah, I was talking about the mother scene. He tried to explain it by saying that he seems more human now, but it's dumb. It's just stupid. I'm sorry. I get what he was trying to do with it, but it's dumb. You can't deny it that it doesn't work. But it does work in the film because the two end up joining forces. Superman ends up going to find Lex Luthor to kill him. He's in the wrecked ship of Man of Steel, and he's creating Zod's body and mixing it with his so he can make Doomsday to kill God, because Batman couldn't kill God, which is Superman. And Batman has this cool warehouse fight scene which is, I think, a really cool fight scene. Zack Snyder directed it really well. And there's a criticism people had with the film was that Batman is killing people. I don't give a shit if Batman kills people or doesn't kill people, as long as you set it up well. And I think he did set it up. It depends on how good he set it up is what matters, because yeah, his mom died by a robber, and of course he'd be pissed off by that his parents died. So he will take vengeance on people. He brands people, and then they get killed in prison because they have the bat sign on them, which means that they're an awful, horrible person, and people don't want that. So they think Batman's this villain, and Superman as Clark Kent's trying to do investigations, even though the investigations really don't go anywhere. He doesn't have to set up this investigation to write a newspaper article about it. He just does, to provide more tension as to why he doesn't like Batman and why he will fight Batman. It really doesn't have anything to do with the movie besides making Batman look evil. You could just have the bat symbol branded on people and then they get killed in prison, instead of saying, "Oh, look, I need to write a newspaper article about it. Perry White, played by Lawrence Fishburne. Please let me do that." I like Lawrence Fishburne in the movie too, as well as in Man of Steel. I forgot to mention that he does a good job. He's enjoyable. I like Lawrence Fishburne. But let's talk more about Batman v Superman and my critiques on it. That being, I was talking about things I didn't like, and then I was talking about Batman killing people. Okay, so that's an initial setup for Batman, not killing people, but then he letting people die because he brands them to show that they're a horrible human being. Also, he just straight up murders people. He's flying in jets and shooting people with bullets, and then their cars explode, and then cars crash into other cars and they explode and everyone dies. I like to see Batman kill people. Also, I like the Batman suit. I think it really looks cool. A lot of people say it looks like duct tape, but whatever. I really like it. It looks cool. And Ben Affleck, when he's working out, just looks ripped. And I guess he doesn't anymore, but it's cool. And you see Batman training and preparing to fight Superman. But anyways, back to killing. It is set up in a way in which Batman, as Bruce Wayne in the Batcave, looks out to a Robin suit. And you only know it's Robin if you know anything about Batman beforehand. If you go into this film not knowing anything about Batman, you're just like, why is there this suit that's written on? This is a haha, joke's on you and stuff. So it's a thing I like but don't like, because if you don't know who the hell Robin is, you really don't care why there's a suit that says haha, joke's on you, because that's initially Joker killing Robin, which is something that's happened in shows and comics and stuff before. So for people who know, it's a nice setup. Hey, someone killed my son, basically, so I'm gonna murk all these people. I don't care. So Batman killing people is cool, especially in the warehouse fight scene. It's just awesome. Another thing I want to say, I like the music. Hans Zimmer's score is excellent in this film. There's a lot of emotional pieces, a lot of epic pieces, a lot of cool pieces that are weird, especially to show the mind of Lex Luthor. The piece is called "The Red Capes Are Coming," and there's a lot of violins, a lot of strings, a lot of pianos going on, and it sounds chaotic. I really like it. I like the score. Junkie XL helped him too, and it's a really cool score. Now, let's talk about more why this film is a bloated mess in a way. I don't hate the film. I don't even dislike the film. I really like Batman v Superman, but it is a mess in a way because it tries to set everything up, which I don't know if that's Zack Snyder's fault or if that's Warner Brothers' fault for trying to catch up with Marvel. And I think it was very lazily set up, because Wonder Woman is shown in the film. She steals something from Bruce Wayne that he's trying to steal from Lex Luthor, and she's like, "Oh, I was just looking for a picture, but I couldn't find it." But then Bruce Wayne just finds it, even though Diana couldn't find it. He just does. I guess Diana's just stupid. But Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman is cool. She's hot as hell, okay? I don't think anyone can deny that. She looks the part. But acting-wise, as Wonder Woman, especially in some scenes in Wonder Woman itself and in the theatrical cut of Justice League, is just bad. But I like her in Batman v Superman. But the thing about why this is bloated is because Batman is all like, "Hey, I'm looking at Lex Luthor's stuff because I want to find out why there's a lot of these crimes going on in Gotham Harbor and all this stuff." And it turns out that they just want to get the kryptonite, and that's why there's a lot of crime going around. And why there's illegal shipments going on. He's looking for this white Portuguese. It turns out the white Portuguese is a boat. That's where the kryptonite's coming from. And God, where's it going? Oh yeah, that's why he breaks into Lex Luthor's, Lex Corp. And then he, digs deeper. And then he finds that Lex Luthor's keeping a tab on metahumans, which is basically the Justice League. He found the picture of Wonder Woman, he found Flash, he found Aquaman, and he found Cyborg. Now, what's dumb about this is that he created logos for them all, and it's stupid. It's basically, and Batman sends the email to Gal Gadot, sends an email to Diana. He's like, "Hey, I found your picture. Who are you?" And when she's scrolling down, reading the email, it's spaced out perfectly so that every time she rolls down, the next line comes up in the email. That's stupid. Who does that? It's like, it's meant, he probably typed it out like, "Okay, who are you? Tab. I found your picture. Tab. Who are you? Tab. Did you look for this? It's tab. Boy share 2. Tab." It's like he was like, all like, "Hey, what if she's actually being watched by people in a theater? So, they can read along with her instead of just the email, not really mattering." It's dumb. It's stupid. And then I guess he also sends the videos to her that have the tabs on the metahumans. It is the biggest setup for a team-up film. And it could have been introduced a lot better. That's a fact that I think a lot of people have a problem with, that it's just set up lazily. And I think it is. I don't think they could have done that. I don't even think they could have even tried to set up the Justice League. They could probably just ended the film with Batman going, "I'm pretty sure there's others like you. Help me find them, because I think there's a threat coming." He could have just done that instead of having the Justice League set up email. So anyways, they team up against Doomsday, which we all knew was going to happen, so we knew that Batman was going to kill Superman. Yada yada. What I think would have been a lot cooler in this, though, would be if Lex Luthor kidnapped Martha, right? Told Superman to go kill Batman. They fight, and then they realize, "Oh crap, hey, let's go save my mom while I go kill Lex Luthor." So, Batman goes to a warehouse, fights a bunch of people, and then finds out that Martha's not in that warehouse, and that she's in another completely different place that Lex Luthor sent him to. And then the warehouse blows up. Superman gets to Lex Luthor, and he's like, "Hey, look, Batman killed your mom. He lied to you." And then Superman just goes on a rampage of trying to kill Batman, all the while he creates Doomsday. And then they go, "Hey, we have to team up to beat up Doomsday. Hey, and Wonder Woman's here too." I think that would have been a lot more impactful and cool way for the film to end, so that when they have to provide Superman in the end, there'd probably be some mixed feelings about, "Hey, I'm iffy on you." But even though they probably talk it out and go, "Hey, I didn't kill your mom, but I'm sorry that I couldn't save your mom." I think that could have been a lot more cooler instead of what we got, which was, "Oh, we're going to team up and fight Doomsday." And then it turns into a big giant CG fest. And the Doomsday creature looks kind of dumb. And Wonder Woman just happens to be there. And Batman doesn't do anything in that third act except escape the laser beams of Doomsday, make some cool poses, and then shoots the kryptonite gas that weakens Doomsday at the end. Lois Lane doesn't do anything in the movie. There's a lot of time dedicated to her about trying to figure out where this bullet came from, because people are like, "Hey, Superman burnt all these people that he saved Lois Lane from when she went to go do a report on some terrorists in some place. And Superman just happened to be there to save Lois Lane, and he killed all these people." So I guess Lex Luthor somehow knew that Clark Kent is Superman, because why else would Superman care about Lois Lane if he wasn't Clark Kent? We never get any review as to how people know who is who. Like, Superman just like, "Bruce," instead of, giving us a scene that shows how Batman is known to be Bruce Wayne by Superman. And we never get a scene of how Lex Luthor knows that Superman is Clark Kent, because why else would he steal the mom? And why else would he give experimental bullets to the terrorists to kill the people that Superman didn't kill, and then burn their bodies to make it look like Superman burned their bodies? Like, it's the stuff like this that is very problematic in the film. And then we have a lot of time dedicated to Lois Lane trying to figure out where this bullet came from, because she was there. I guess no one wanted to listen to her story, and people were shooting, and then the bullet hit, I think a Bible in her backpack that she picked up or something. And she's like, hey, where's this bullet from? And there's a lot of time dedicated to her figuring out where that bullet's from. Even though we all know where the bullet's from, LexCorp. Lex Luthor made it. And it's weird because we have to figure out where it's from, even though we don't know where it's from. But we have to have it set up so we know where it's from, even though we already know where it's from. There's just a lot that's going on in this film. But I don't hate it. I like it. Whereas I gave Man of Steel an A-, I would give Batman v Superman a B. It looks cool. The music is great. I like the action scenes, but there is just a lot that goes on. And I don't think it's unnecessarily long, but I think it is a very troubled film that I like. And I think that's all the films that I've seen within the past God knows how long. I don't watch a lot of movies anymore. Well, the films that I've seen, I've done reviews for. But since the time that I did my last review and now, I guess those are all the movies I've seen. I wanted to watch Kong Skull Island, and I most likely will tonight before I watch Godzilla vs. Kong tomorrow. I don't know if I'll do a review for it, though. I'll probably just say, hey, I watched it, I liked it, now let's talk about Godzilla vs. Kong. And now, let's talk about Godzilla vs. Kong. I'm very excited for it because I love Godzilla, I love King Kong, and seeing the two fight on screen would be epic. And Junkie XL is doing the score, and he said that there's a fight scene in there that lasts 18 minutes where Godzilla and Kong, I guess, first meet up, and they're fighting in the ocean. It looks really cool so far in the trailers. I'm very excited for it. The only thing I'm not excited for are human characters that are most likely not going to be developed because the film is not even 2 hours long. Now, I've read from reviews and watched reviews, and people have said that it's tightly paced so that we get to the action and not have to deal with the human characters a lot. And it's a criticism people have with these movies, that we don't care about the boring human characters, we want to watch the monsters fight. Now, on the contrary, I like the human characters being set up as long as they have something to do with the plot of the film. Like, that's why I like Godzilla 2014. I like Aaron Tyler Johnson's character. I like Bryan Cranston's character as the dad, even though he got killed off, and people hate the movie for that because they wanted to see Heisenberg and Godzilla together or whatever. But I like how intertwined the stories are. Everywhere this guy goes, the Mutos, the monsters in that film, are, messing it up for him, and Godzilla's there too. And his part of the story is interesting, and he always has something to do that ends up having to affect the monsters. At least they're not just, I'm a reporter trying to report Godzilla, and somehow I get involved with the government and then government people. Like in the Japanese films, those are cheesy. I like them, I can watch them, but they're cheesy in the way that the human characters are intertwined with the Godzilla stuff going on. And of course, these movies are better than the Godzilla films, except for Godzilla 1954. That has to be the best Godzilla movie just because it is the most grounded, the most mature, and the best well-made film. And that is a film. Godzilla 1954 is a film. It was meant to show the devastation done from the nuclear bombings from the United States onto Japan. It is a nice form of expression as to show the tragedies that have come afterwards from the bombings. And then it turned into, hey, let's make movies about Godzilla fighting all these people and all these monsters. it's funny because what began as a way people wanting to express some horrific thing turned into what we know today as this gigantic media, this gigantic piece that is Godzilla. Because you can't deny it, you love Godzilla. I love Godzilla. Everybody loves Godzilla. But it's sad to see that what was a film, what was art, is gone. And now all we want is giant monsters fighting. And I want to see giant monsters fighting, but I want to see something new. I think Godzilla should be left alone now after this. Because it's. I don't want to be this, sad sap of person that says, oh, art is ruined and there's no. No. Because we will have Godzilla forever. We will have that movie forever. 1954 Godzilla. We will have that. But I want to see more art films like that. Or if you can make these new Godzilla films art, go ahead. I think that'll be really cool to see. Instead of just, here, you want to see just action? Here. And I'm pretty sure these are just going to be uploaded onto YouTube later. So instead of having to watch the boring human stuff, which sometimes I don't find boring, you're just going to watch these action scenes, which is what I fear these movies to be. And I'm not going to go into Godzilla vs. Kong expecting a film, expecting a piece of art. I want to see Godzilla and Kong fight. I want to see it well done. And I want it to mean something at the end of the day. I want there to be impact. But most likely what I'm going to get is Godzilla and King Kong fighting each other, and I'll enjoy it. That's what I think I'm really going to get out of that. And I'm not going to hate it. I definitely won't hate it. I want to see that. I've always wanted to see Godzilla and King Kong fight in a more modern-esque setting. And I want to bring up another point. So my dad, he really doesn't like CGI heavy movies. He really doesn't like the idea of that because it's not real. And a lot of people don't seem to care either about CG stuff. It's not real. Why should I care about these two not real things fighting each other? And at the end of the day, there's some truth to it. Unless you make people care for it. I gotta check the time. Hold on. I got about 2 more minutes until I gotta start another clip. But anyways, they're right in an extent. Why should we care about these two not real things fighting? And then I can counteract that with saying that why should we care about Pirates of the Caribbean? And why should we care about Davy Jones and all that stuff? Because he's not even there. He's just a guy in a suit with really good CGI on him. And let me say, because this is the thing going around, people really thought the CGI on Thanos is good, which it is. Thanos looks amazing in the Avengers films. But no one talks about Davy Jones, which I think is the best CG character of all time. And nothing will ever top it because there's so much going on with him. And he looks amazing. He's so well detailed. And Thanos looks great. And I think people are praising Thanos because he looks so human. Because of what they did with Josh Brolin. And yeah, it looks amazing. But Davy Jones is from the early 2000s and still looks amazing. And this argument really stemmed from Justice League. Because Steppenwolf in Justice League, the theatrical cut, looked awful. He looked disgusting, unpolished, bad. But the Steppenwolf in Zack Snyder's Justice League looks gorgeous. And there's a lot of emotion done with him. He really gives off these expressions of fear, of anger, of little joy. But it's expressions and emotions nonetheless. And they look great. But I really want to see something like Davy Jones again. And getting back to the original argument about CG, I really wanted to talk about this because we can't have a Godzilla versus King Kong movie in the modern era without CG, unless you create these really nice looking suits that have a lot of mobility to them, or you just make a suit for every single scenario you can think of, and models that don't look cheap or that don't look like models. We can't have a Godzilla versus Kong without CG in nowadays. For now, until we get cool animatronics or suits that don't look cheesy, because old Godzilla movies will look cheesy forever in our sense. And so the one thing I don't want to happen is me watching Godzilla versus Kong, my dad walking and going, "Oh, this movie is stupid. Look at all the CG going on. It's not real. Why should I care?" And to that I'll say, I don't care. These are my movies, not yours. And I watch my movies and you watch your movies and I watch your movies, but you don't watch my movies unless we end up somehow watching our movies together and you end up liking it because, oh, he didn't want to watch Guardians. He thought Guardians was going to be stupid until I put it on. Actually, what happened was I put it on with my mom and my sister, my brother, and they liked it. And then my mom goes, "Hey, you'll like this." And my dad goes, "Oh, I guess fine, whatever." And so he started watching it and then he liked it. And so now he's starting to trying to watch more movies. Not try, but he's starting to watch movies that I watch. Like the more Marvel-esque superhero stuff. And I think my whole family will tell me I'm weird for liking my more artsy movies. But hey, those are my movies. And yeah, my movies are weird. Hereditary and Midsommar are weird. The Lighthouse is weird. But those are my movies. And no one can say otherwise. Alright, we're at the start of the third clip for this podcast. And where am I at now? How long has this recording been going on for? Audacity says it's been going on for 58 minutes. I think we can talk about a couple more things, then I'll call it a day. Last argument I was just making, I was just going on a little splurge about movies and CG, what it means. I think the last thing I want to talk about is a show called Moral Orel. Now, I saw a clip for it a while back, and it seemed like an interesting show because Adult Swim has Robot Chicken, and Robot Chicken is a stop motion show. So, diving deeper into other Adult Swim stuff, they have Moral Orel, which is a show about a little kid named Orel who lives in the fictional state of State Soda, who lives in the fictional place in State Soda called Moralton. I know there's a place called Moralton, but anyways, it's about everyone is a Protestant in this town, and Orel is just, he loves Jesus and he loves God and he praises them to everything he has. But there will be something that he doesn't understand, like how do women get pregnant? And so his dad, afraid to tell him the truth, looks at a book that says how to explain it to kids of different ages, and he says that God's chef makes people pregnant, and the reason why he has to tell him that is because he's masturbating in the school bathroom, and the janitor's all like, "Yo, you can't do that because it's a sin," and the church and the pastor, no, the Reverend Putty, which is the character's name, said you can't do it because it's a sin and you're killing all the life that could be. So he asks his dad how women get pregnant and what to do with your semen. And so he says God's chef fills the women up. And so Orel, as to not waste his semen, ends up impregnating all the women in town. It is hysterical. It's funny. And they get into antics like that all the time. They bring back the dead. And they enter a praying contest where, because Orel can't focus on praying, he ends up taking up Buddhist traditions like what's it called? What's it called? Where you're God damn it. Why can't I think of it? Meditating. He ends up taking on meditating so he can help focus on praying for a praying contest at the Praying Bee. It's just, and all these characters are not stereotypical, but they're They're types. They're these types of people who would be, I guess you could say stereotypicals, but they're overly exaggerated Protestant characters, Christians, and it's funny because they don't want to explain Orel the truth about a certain thing, so they use religion as a way to tell him something, and then it's not making fun of religion, it's making fun of the idea that religion has this power over everybody. In a sense of Sausage Party, which is a film that I don't like, but I can appreciate the idea it wants to portray. Such as this show. It wants to show that the adults can't handle talking to the children and teaching them a lesson without using religion as a way for them not to actually say the truth. And Moral gets into stuff. He ends up getting spanked by his father. We learn the lesson of the day, which is a very twisted and messed up way to learn the lesson of the day. Like, there's an episode where he meets a kid named Joe, and he wants to show him God and the church and stuff. But Joe is a bad kid, and he does bad stuff with him because he doesn't want to be a bad friend to Joe. So he ends up being friends with Joe and leaving his old friends behind. And then Joe ends up beating up a bunch of gay kids. And so Orel's dad comes in, Clay Puppington, comes in and goes, "Son, I need to teach you a lesson. So, hey, instead of, why'd you leave your old friends behind? Joe's a bad kid, but you can't forget to be loyal to your friends." And they totally disregard the whole beating the gay kids thing. It's funny that these lessons of the day are very twisted. And what's even funnier is that Moral Orel is comprised of 43 episodes and a special called Before Orel, which takes place when Orel's like 4. And in those 43 episodes, there's 3 seasons. The first 2 seasons are very light-hearted comedies. They're very funny. I enjoyed every episode. But season 3 takes a more psychological drama twist on it, because there's an event that happens in season 2 where Orel finally sees that his dad is a bad father. And so season 3 is made up of a lot of episodes that take place before an event happens in season 2 on a hunting trip that his dad takes him on, and it reveals a lot of things that didn't seem important at first, that were just like little one-off gags, but they hold a lot of meaning behind them. So Moral Orel blossoms from a very lighthearted comedy into a very serious and mature show with a lot of themes and character depth and emotions. So Moral Orel is a fantastic show. There's a lot of emotional scenes, especially in the 3rd season. You can take some things away from it that aren't the twisted, messed up ideas that the show will portray. But all in all, I think Moral Orel is a great show. You definitely need to check it out. It doesn't bash religion. It just merely critiques the idea of religion. It's not saying Christianity and being a Protestant is evil and you're disgusting and haha, I'm gonna show you why religion is fake. It doesn't do that, and the characters don't do that, but it merely critiques the idea of religion being this controlling factor over people, which is in itself a form of art. So in the end, I'm going to give Moral Orel an A. It is just a fantastic show. The stop motion looks great as well, even for a show from 2005. It looks great, and I had a great time with it. What?
Are you done with that?
No.
Well, can you switch your clothes?
My clothes aren't in the washer.
Whose clothes are they then?
I don't know. Go ask around. Alright, so I think that's it for the Slice Podcast episode 12. I had a lot to talk about. I was able to especially talk about Batman v Superman a lot, because I did have a lot of stuff to say on it. But in the end, I had a good time doing this. I hope you guys had a good time watching this. I hope you enjoyed the new intro. And I'll be back with more enjoyable... Oh my god, I just realized I didn't say my line for the podcast in the beginning. Oh my god. The podcast is ruined now, guys. Wow, I didn't say welcome to the Slice Podcast where I give you a slice of my mind. I'm your host, Christopher Martinez, and this is episode 12. Wow, I can't believe I didn't say that. Great, I gotta do this whole thing all over again now. Okay, I'll see y'all next time with more enjoyable content like this. So, have a good day. Bye.